If this looks like something you want to do, sat on a bench this high up with that view, platinumlist.net, it is absolutely amazing up here. Can I get some service around here though? Hey, it's Joe Mango. Today I'm so excited. I'm down at IMG Worlds of Adventure. I feel like a kid in a candy store. Let's go explore. If you want to come and check out this absolutely magical place, then go to platinumlist.net right now.
Hi, I'm Lily.
And I'm Dan.
And we are The Load In.
Good afternoon, Lily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I see you. I'm good. I see you brought Taco again.
I
Taco's
brought
asleep.
Taco again, and he is being ridiculously calm. So we'll see.
Which is quite scary.
Which is a bit scary. So we'll see what he does by the time we get home. Hopefully he'll...
Still breathing?
He's literally like just
double
melted.
checking.
Anyway, so today in the studio we have someone who I consider an incredible person, a great friend. I've known her for years. She's been a client of mine. And
She's been a client?
She was a client. I got her, yeah, I definitely got it. So even though I'm a client now, I agency side, I did have clients as well. But Katrina Anderson, welcome to the show.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Lovely to see you.
Great to see you. It's been way too long. We just figured out that it's been 10 years since we've actually seen each other.
Like physically seen?
Physically seen each other, yeah. The last time I saw her, she'd just given birth to her daughter.
Which was clearly a long time ago now.
Well, she's about 10 now.
Yeah.
Yes, very much.
And she's just down the road in Abu Dhabi, so we've failed.
That's actually real lame, to be honest.
Well, you know, there's the thing called working at 2454, like... I'm gonna read Kat's short bio in a second, but this is just one iteration of what she's doing there. Like Kat has been at 2454 from the beginning.
Wow.
From the absolute beginning. She's one
Bricks
of the
and mortar days.
Yep. She's cornerstone. You're now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're now the Director of Commercial Services.
Correct.
What does that
Very good.
What does that
Good
mean?
background.
What does that mean?
I look after anything that anyone books or buys or purchases, ideally.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And it could be lots of things.
So anything that media industry needs to run their business. So if it's the media business is actually so diverse.
Yeah.
We have partners on campus at 2454 who are anyone from CNN through to local entrepreneurial startups of an app, for example. Yeah. So anyone who's doing game development, digital channels, streaming platforms, any of these areas all have different business requirements. So we have studios, we have post-production facilities, we do government liaison, we do all their visas and paperwork. So anything that they need, we try to deliver for them so that they can actually just get on with the business of creating content. They just do their day jobs, all the fun stuff, and we do all the work for them to make sure that they've got everything they need.
Nice.
Really. Well, Kat actually started off in the marketing team. She was leading the marketing, so all the branding, where the brand got to and how it's presented, how it speaks to you, and where it is today, and what the buildings look like. That was all led by Kat and her team.
Nice.
So it started off there, but we sort of jump a little bit forward because I just assume everyone knows exactly what 2454 is and what it's there to do and what it's about and how long it's been there.
If you've been here for a while, you do.
Yeah, but can you? Even actually no. Before
Actually, no,
that,
it's a good point. Like, you know, what is
a lot of people don't
fully
quite,
know.
you know, everyone, some people just think it's just a free zone, but it's so much more than that.
Exactly.
So Kat, I'm going to let you talk us through that.
Yeah, I think firstly I'll start with 2454, which is really hard if you're giving anyone your email address. Not an easy one to spell out. But it is the coordinates of Abu Dhabi. So it is the heart and soul of Abu Dhabi.
I
It's
never
where all
knew
the
that.
stories and content come from. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
I
cool.
thank Her Excellency Noura Al-Kabi.
Yeah.
And it was her inspiration. She was actually the instigator of this. So she was almost staff member number 1. And so she instigated the name of 2454 and Abu Dhabi being at the heart of what 2454 does.
Yeah.
So it's our coordinates.
And
That's really cool.
Yeah, I still remember was sort of working and helping with Her Excellency's office back then.
Yes.
It's going to come a long way. I remember sitting there picking lights for her office, not realizing.
I mean, that's the story.
Yeah, but like not realizing whose presence I was in.
Yeah, it looks like you get that light wrong and you deported.
You know, well, she is, but the
I'm
thing is,
joking.
no, but you know that you could. It's highly possible if you are in the do it with the wrong person. But she honestly is one of the sweetest, kindest, most humble people I've ever met in my life.
Amazing.
You know,
I've been very lucky. I mean, 254 is incredible. And like you said, I've been there since the beginning. So I've watched it grow and develop, and I've watched an industry spring out of that. And that to me, like you said, Lil, we're not just a free zone. We're actually a zone of media and entertainment people, but it's a community.
Yeah.
And I find, I mean, what have we got? I think it's 15-20% of our partner base are actually Emiratis who don't need to be in free zones, but they choose to base their businesses there because of the like-minded individuals all around it. So the collaboration and cooperation between these creative individuals, the support services around it for the businesses as required, are so critical for people when they're starting up. And this partner base and community feel that we've developed is what helps people to grow.
Yeah.
And that's we're not just a real estate offering. So we're a free zone for media and entertainment businesses, but we are specialists. So you can go in and rent space anywhere. The space is the last bit that we even talk about if you take space.
Yeah.
We've got so many different options that you don't even have to rent space anymore. It's
wow.
about the like-minded individuals and bringing them together to build and create innovative content.
Yeah.
And when I say content, I mean anything that you consume.
Yeah.
Graphic design, gaming, animation, films, anything you can think of is something you consume.
Yeah.
now one thing to say about 2454. Sorry, I should still be working there, right?
No. Lily's on the payroll.
No, well, you know, they were my clients, so I got to know so much about them, and it was actually a real pleasure to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's one of the questions I've got for you, Kat. In the beginning, when you started, 2454 actually helped create a sector that wasn't really recognized. And to hear you tell me that you got 20% Emirati businesses with you is such a lovely thing to hear, because I remember back then they had so many initiatives to help especially Emirati kids and young adults to come into the field.
Yeah.
And they had you had like what I can't remember, you had the pillars.
Yeah, Creative Lab.
Creative Lab.
Creative Lab. Yeah.
And they would wait for an idea. They opened up. They said, if you've got a great idea for create content, whether it's a show, whether it's
When
anything.
was this?
This was down at 2454.
No, but when?
This was what 10 years ago.
2009 we started.
I'm going to say,
and
I remember seeing this get launched and seeing, you know, that messaging. I
But
thought it
it
was incredible.
struggled.
Really?
It actually struggled because, and I'm going to let you explain it, Kat, because I just think so. To hear 20% now is amazing from where you started, where you couldn't get people to come in because people didn't appreciate the sector.
Well, they didn't understand the sector. So I think we spent a long time, and Her Excellency Noura was critical to this piece because we spent probably a good 10 years doing audience development. Yeah. So many local families didn't understand the breadth and depth of the media industry. And they thought it was just in front of the camera and it was more gossip or salacious news. And it wasn't the fact you can be a data scientist now and work in the media industry. You can be an accountant and work in the media industry. And I think there's nothing wrong with having traditional careers, but you can be in a really fun industry as well.
Yeah.
And that's where we started to get people to understand. And Noura actually was almost a figurehead for that, in people seeing her out, driving this industry and showing the diversity of what was out there. And the talents that we developed up through that time. We still have a youth community of 14,000 young people in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and into more of the MENA region who are actually interested in media and entertainment. So we do 200, 300 workshops a year to grow and develop that talent. We have networking events for them. We try and facilitate. So whenever we do a production, so whether it was Star Wars or Mission Impossible or anything like that, we actually place interns on all those projects.
Wow.
And we make sure that they're looked after and they're actually developed. When we did Star Wars many years ago, we actually had a couple of talents placed on the film. They impressed the production team so much they took them back to London with them.
That's amazing.
And they finished off the film there and then came back. I mean, what an incredible opportunity, you know, it was just iconic for them. So we try to give, because our industry relies on having tangible, technical, real life experience as well. So we had multiple tiers in what we were doing. So whether it's workshopping, internships, university outreach, or actually placing people on productions or connecting them with companies. So we try to also, if companies are looking for young local talent, which is really important to become mutually beneficial, you have to have a cultural understanding and check materials. And we do a lot of focus groups and things like that to help our partners on campus know that they're producing the right content or the right materials or brainstorming new products and ideas. And then quite often those people will be picked up by those companies and hired. And there's a perception that they're too expensive to hire, but that's actually not true. They want jobs and they want to be in the industry and they're really passionate.
And very creative.
Are you guys still on the various pillars? Like there was Intaj, Ibtikar. Is that still in place?
No, well, we've diversified and actually created, because media industries change so much and government steps in where there isn't the private sector. So, for example, Tadrib we set up as a training academy when we very first started. And as partners came into the area, the private sector came in, we pulled back out of that space and handed it over to the partners. And that's the same with a lot of the other services that we have. We actually have changed those where we actually pull back from that. We used to have a lot of equipment for hire and things like that. Now we've got a whole bevy of partners who can provide that service. So we just direct whoever it is working on it to that partner and they secure the services from that. So we are really champions of the private sector as well. So across the world, wherever there's a gap in a value chain, for example, the government will step in, facilitate. Once it starts to take hold and there is private sector opportunities there, they step back and they go to the next area that needs to be developed.
That's actually a really smart way of doing it because it's laying the right foundations.
Yeah.
Giving everyone the right tools and then
providing the opportunity.
And handing the opportunity over. So as you see, not a typical free zone.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I mean, because like my business is in a free zone, and like you know,
do you get this service?
No, not at all. I mean, like it was interesting the comment that you made. It's it's not a real estate development. You know, often as we see with free zones, it's much more about the office space, the rental, the physical bricks and mortar, rather than the community and the actual belonging and the opportunities and the incubation of bringing like-minded people together. Because let's face it, from a creative point of view, if you bring like-minded creatives together, you know, we amplify, we work together and create and imagine, you know, even more incredible things. So I think, you know, obviously listening to what you guys are talking about is amazing.
But that's the thing.
That's being fostered.
It's fostered and facilitating. The fact that they bring all the partners together so that they know who else is there and partner within the actual free zone. So the free zone looking after each other, the partners looking after each other, which means that
it's nourishing.
It's nourishing, but it also gives them greater opportunity. You know, if they want to go out there and there's a piece of business they want to go for, they've got a whole bunch of partners they can work with, and they know they're like-minded because clearly they've all come to 2454. Yeah. So there's a certain level of quality and there's a certain level of companies that are in there. Yeah. So you already know they're verified. Yeah. So I think that's fantastic.
It's just made me think of a question, but I'm going to leave that to the end.
Yeah, but I think it's also knowing what businesses need. So what's most important for you? People go, oh, the creatives, you know, and you go, no, they're creative economists. They're in the creative industries, but they care about their bottom line. Yeah. And so function efficiently and they need to be able to make money, otherwise they don't survive. So for us, we look at key areas of where we can help and support. So we actually drive business leads to their door. So we have a pre-procurement tool called the briefing room, and we actually secure briefs from government entities and post it on the briefing room. So driving leads directly to our partners' doors. The Abu Dhabi government has been incredibly active and knows that the media industry is so critical for economic growth.
Yeah.
And so they have actually waived a lot of the setup fees and costs in actually setting up business. So if you set up a company now, they actually waive the licensing and registration fees for your first 2 years, whether it's a company or a freelancer. So you're just paying your visa costs when you set up.
Yeah.
That's a real help.
It is actually.
That's a real help.
I'm going to be dropping you a phone call after this to talk about that. No, because it's true. Because many of us are. I guess I've been here for like 14 years now, and there's projects where we require to be established in Abu Dhabi, and it's something we were looking at pre-COVID. So yes, it's something which we definitely need to 100%. Look at, because there is opportunity there, and that incubation is very attractive.
Without fail, I will say 2454. All roads lead to 2454.
But it's true though, because I've heard it many times before, and we always recommended as that's the go-to entity to facilitate and support.
Honestly, Kat, you guys must be so proud. Like, did you ever imagine 2454 would become what it has become?
I hoped and dreamed, and for me, this is a big dream, Lil, because we launched our future campus a long time ago, and next year, we will be moving into a new campus at Yas Island.
No, really?
Yeah, I heard. Onto Yas.
Yes, and it is stunning. And my friend Hayden will get cross at me for this, but we're going to be launching it very soon, and the design and it's amazing. And the things that are incorporated into this sustainable, smart, media-specific built campus, there is nothing else like it in the region. Everyone who has seen it so far, people in Dubai are going, hell, we are moving our branches, we're moving our offices, we want to be in this location. And the government is so committed. When you have a 30% cashback rebate for production, so whether it's TV commercials or fully fledged feature films, you get a 30% cashback rebate on those things. So, you can actually help your bottom line as a business by accessing that. And for us, it's about using local talent. And when I say local talent, I mean anyone who's in Abu Dhabi. It's about using suppliers and stimulating the economy through that. And then thirdly, it's about sharing our stories with the world. 100%. So if it's about here and what's going on here, that's where we support that with the Abu Dhabi Film Commission and 30% cashback rebate. So there's just so many things going on here for the creative industries. And the government is being so incredibly active, in having this state-of-the-art campus, having youth platforms, which are really exciting, and there's great projects going on there. There's also subsidies in the area of gaming. So if you want to come and set up there, there's very special staff salary subsidies and rent subsidies and things that the team are working on to encourage that industry to grow.
And that industry is massive.
Huge.
There's so much potential in gaming. I feel old now.
Remember every time your mother said, you're not going to get anywhere playing those games.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
On Fortnite, $3 million just for playing.
Mental.
I feel like I've missed out on so many things.
I know, but I was useless at games anyway. It was never going to work for me. I'll just do the marketing.
Obviously, everything you've been talking about is incredible. I'm going to send a WhatsApp to the team and get the movers ready.
I'm just so stoked to hear that finally you guys are moving to the campus. We talked about this over the years, and the location change, the design change, and there were hurdles that they had to jump over, and there was things, and the stories were endless. So to hear that that it's finally happening, and it's in Yas,
and also
built.
Wow!
If you go across Yas Island, and if you're going through to the beautiful F1 track on the right hand side. On the left-hand side is Etihad Arena. We are across the road.
Oh, wow.
I'm coming down. Coming down.
One of the nice things about this is, I guess, from our point of view and from a personal experience is, the creative industries have struggled over the last, few months. It's been incredibly challenging. So to have something to look forward to, and to know that, the creative industries are not finished. There's so much more that we're going to do in the time ahead.
Yeah.
And to have this incredible campus to help foster that is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, that's Sorry?
The creative industries are creative.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of it. You know, people say to me, oh my God, you've been at 2454 such a long time. And I go, yeah, but my job changes all the time.
Every day.
The industry is so diverse and so dynamic, and the people are so incredible and so exciting. And every time you get a group together, something incredible comes out of it that you've not seen before.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing.
Yeah.
Diversification and opportunity. This place is fraught with opportunity. And if you can have a look at it and really understand what you want to do, the opportunities are endless. And it's also tapping people on the shoulder and going, hey, I need a hand. The amount of partners who've just never reached out to me. And when I talk to them, they go, oh my God, I wish I'd have called you, you know, much, you know, and it's, we're here to help. I introduce partners all day, every day to a suite of people who can help them do whatever it is they want to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually one of the questions that we're leading into. As a voice for content creators, as a voice for the creatives, in light of what's been happening over the last few months with this, you know, lovely thing called COVID, you know, if people have been around, I'm sure a lot of people have sort of been turning to you guys for solace, for advice, for direction, for, you know, everything really. I'm sure that it's not just your partners that are coming to you, but the creative sector in general in Abu Dhabi, I'm sure, are sort of looking to you guys.
Correct. I think, Lil, over this time, it's been really tough. I talk to partners every day about what they're going through and what's happening. And at the same time, we've been incredibly proactive. So we've actually done rent fee credits for them, you know, where we've given them a rent reprieve. Where I've heard other places have announced things and not actually followed through. Ours is actually real and tangible, and we work with them. So not every entity wants that. They want other things or other elements of support. So we customize packages to work with partners to support them through this period. And that's been really incredible, because putting a pause on payments doesn't help anyone. They just have a hell of a lot to pay off when it actually comes back at a later date.
I can vouch for that personally.
But I don't want to see that happen. So also, I mean, and Lil, you'll know this, I can't help sticking my nose in, probably where it's not warranted. But I spend a lot of time with partners going, tell me about your business. What are you doing? Okay, so you're in publishing. Okay, things are kind of changed in that area. So what are you doing with your digital platforms? How are you optimizing that? How are you, you know, what products are you diversifying to? How you know, and then go, okay, I know these guys are doing this and you should meet them. And then I think these guys could use you as a channel for communication. And what else have you got? Your databases and access. What else have, you know, so helping them also reevaluate their businesses and find new ways of reaching out to markets. We spend a lot of time talking to Abu Dhabi and talking to the wider region, so we know what people are actually looking for. So helping our partners navigate towards that is also really important. So I think, you know, in that respect, we've done so many webinars for partners, legal advice, especially on employees and how you can actually help them through this period. We've been working with Her Excellency Noura on the creative relief that they were providing, and we worked with our partners. We did letters endorsing them and supporting them and talking about the work they've been doing to help them secure that funding. Like I said, the rent relief that we provided partners. And just then guidance, you know, webinars on how to come out of COVID, how to re-diversify your business, how to develop new products, how to reevaluate your brand and use your time efficiently and effectively as you're coming out.
So you've had a real sense of responsibility.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I don't want to see anything happen to any of them. You know, I want to see them thrive. We've put all this time in and all this energy to help them establish and help them grow, and you don't want to see any of them fail.
Yeah.
It's really refreshing to hear that. Because a lot of, you know, we know people act in one way or another. In times of crisis, either people come together or people sort of fall apart.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear that down at 2454, it's that you guys have really come together and looking after each other.
I think, you know, and I'm loath to say, only because it's a really tough time globally, and I see lots of people all over the world. You know, we don't come from somewhere anymore. We are a global society. But 2454 has actually done really well this year in the number of partners who have joined, the number of freelancers who've joined. And I think it's a safe place to take that jump, to make that step into either developing your own business or creating a company, or, going out on your own because, there's opportunities. And I feel that people think it's a safe place to be. And so the numbers of freelancers we're seeing, our production, we produced the whole time through the pandemic. We didn't stop production.
Wow.
We did NBC's Inheritance soap opera the whole time.
Wow.
We did a film. We did dramas. We had a $40 million feature film being shot at the time in March, April, May, June. So we were delivering the whole time. Our customer care center was open, our studios were open, our post facilities were open, and we were delivering to our campus. So we were at 30-40% all the time of staffing levels, still working through this time. And I think it's we're finding ways, of areas of growth. And I think that's in gaming, animation, any sort of content production. I think it's digital channels and platforms. So the areas that are actually thriving, and these are the areas that are actually growing out of control. There's such production pent-up demand that I think there's incredible opportunities. And with a 30% cashback rebate, that's when the bottom line's really important, and production efficiency, but also safety. Abu Dhabi got an incredible reputation globally. We were one of the only jurisdictions in the world to continue production. I think it was us and Norway who continued production throughout that time.
That's incredible.
Well, you've answered my next question, which was, do you think that, do you feel the pandemic has hindered content creation or provided another opportunity? Like, especially seeing that everything with events completely going kaput, the digital side has really come up. So have you seen new opportunities or...
Yeah, I think people are being really creative. This is when creative comes out. I mean, we're getting a lot of approaches at the moment for using our studios for virtual events. Where they can do a live broadcast of the event. They don't want to lose the feel. They don't want to lose the experience. So we've created new products and green screen rooms and things like that where people can come in and do virtual events, in this time, so that they can access it and still create these amazing experiences. So I think there are opportunities, and it's how we can pull together as a community and harness it and drive it forward.
I agree.
With your event partners, how have they been doing? Like, I hear that you said that some have done virtual events and stuff, but in general, how have they been doing?
Look, I think there's a lot of projects going out at the moment, and project briefs. There's multiple plans going on. We're still hosting UFC and things like that happening. F1's about to happen, so we are working very carefully with the government and NCEMA and people like that to work out how best to handle these situations, because I don't think it's going anywhere any time.
No,
and I think we accept it as a new normal and stop waiting for it to go away and go, okay, how do we work with it?
Well, that's exactly something that we always talk about. We just got to get on with it, right? You've just gotten on with it.
Well, and you do that safely. You work with your various stakeholders, and you work with government. You have that discussion. You just look after the well-being of the people that are attending and your staff and your people. And we've got to get on with it.
But like,
that's right.
From a free zone perspective, is it sort of in line, or have you been getting the support that you need with your business? Or
if I can be completely honest, my free zone was completely useless. like I'm not going to name it, but I should do, like, name and shame. But there's been no support, not even follow up on emails. My entire business pretty much collapsed overnight. So then you start to question, well, how do I pay the rent? How do I maintain staff? We know our industry will come back. So everything we've been trying to do is to try to minimize the damage as much as possible, and to survive, because at some point we're going to need our people, we're going to need our partners, we will bounce back at some point. And, those discussions with the free zone of how do we do this? And it was just non-existent. It was literally can you still pay your rent? You need to pay your trade license. And that's where the comment was interesting at the beginning, where it was very much about the real estate aspect of it. It wasn't about facilitating business or providing support in order for you to survive.
That's our industry, though. We survive. It's human capital. That's what our industry is. All the other stuff is peripheral. It's about the humans. And if you've got good humans, you can do amazing things. And that's what it all thrives on. And I think it's the relationships and it's trust, and it's the ability to lean on each other and connect and network and find solutions. I mean, I spend so much time talking to people. We do panels quite often with partners and go, how should we approach this, or what would work? And I get feedback, as you can imagine, all the time on what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And in some cases, they're absolutely right. And in some cases, they just get you thinking about maybe other ways of approaching it. Yeah. But I think it's, we're forever evaluating what works well, what doesn't work well. And I love it when people tell us, so that we can, because that's the only way we're going to, lead in the spaces. Yeah. So I think it's critical. I think if you're not getting what you need, I think you need to ask or shop around or reevaluate and go, what do you need to succeed right now? Yeah. Because that's the important part.
Well, what advice would you have for creatives who are sort of sitting there, maybe losing a little bit of hope, thinking that, they're not going to make it to tomorrow, with all the insight that you have dealing closely with the government and having a bit more of a vision of what's going on? What sort of advice do you have for them?
Well, this is hard. This is a really hard question.
Sorry.
I think, look, like I said, creatives are creative. I mean, I work in a creative industry, yet I don't deem myself a creative. And the word creative scares me a little bit, because I think people have perceptions of who you should be. Yeah. And I'm a Virgo. I'm a planner. I've got 10 backup plans, and I'm,
but there'll be creative backup plans.
Yeah. And so I think in everything I've been, you can have your core, but I think what makes things interesting is to try new things and blend other things with what you currently know. And don't be afraid to step out and ask someone for help. And if you do have downtime, make use of the downtime. Go, what could my industry or what could my skill set blend with? What else could I possibly be doing? What are the areas that are thriving, and what skills have I got that actually drive me could work in that industry? And then how do I quickly upskill in some of those areas? That's because that's the only way that you're going to have something until, and it depends again on your category or your vertical of what industry you play in.
You said you had one more question.
I did indeed. I can't remember what it was now. But yes, I think it was literally like, can I get your contact details and how can I move to Abu Dhabi?
After yes, we go.
Yeah, completely. No, but I think, as a business, we've been looking at opportunities in Abu Dhabi before COVID, because, there's great things happening over there. And obviously 2454 has been on the radar, but it'd be great to get information or to at least direct people.
Well, what we'll do is we'll share the information, but it's also what I love about it and is that, and I harp on about it, it isn't just a free zone. It is somewhere that actually supports you. It's an actual community. It's a community that fosters and nurtures and wants to see you succeed. That's what I love about what you guys are there and what you represent.
Yeah, and that's the same for me personally. During any time, even during the COVID times, I had partners calling me 9 and 10 o'clock at night, and it was never an issue. So feel free to give out my details. Yeah. I'll
careful what you wish for.
No, I do. I do wish. I wish that we create an amazing creative industry. And, 100%. I've been there a long time and know everyone in the industry and try and help and guide everyone, but also connect people to great opportunities. And I think, we are going to a major growth stage as 2454 with this new campus, and we've got new facilities and new studios, and there's so much going on, and the government's so focused and so supportive of SMEs and entrepreneurs and, companies themselves and our industry. They get our industry and they're doing everything they can to make it easy. And then we as well do everything we can to make it easy so you can focus on the fun stuff and really get your business, to grow. So that's the beauty of it. So we try to go full circle, everything you need, and we're here to support. And if it's something we don't have, we'll find a way to get it for you.
Well, as someone that's known Kat as long as I have, that is a genuine comment. That is a genuine statement. So when she says, I wish, and I'm more than happy for people to call and to be able to support, she genuinely means it. And that's something that I've always respected about you, Kat. It makes you want to work even harder with her.
Yeah. But thank you so much for today.
Thank you. It was great to talk to you, and I hope this gets people excited about Abu Dhabi and realize that there are incredible opportunities. And even if it's not with 2454, it's Abu Dhabi is a great place to live, work, and there's incredible things going on. You know, even for us at Yas Island, we're surrounded by media and entertainment there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a Hilton hotel across the road from us. You can go for drinks after work. It's becoming what our industry wants it to be.
Exactly.
And I think that social aspect and that we haven't had that, and we're growing that. And I think with the community we've built without those things there, adding this to it just really tops it off. You'll love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like to hear. We all know to be creative, sometimes you need to step out of the office.
Yeah.
You've got to go across the road.
And drinks definitely help.
Exactly. So what we might do is I'd love to get you back now that I've managed to get you on one. I'd love to get you back to talk about more about the Yas campus. When things are sort of moving along, I'd really love to share that.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe we could come do an episode.
We'll come down and do an episode down there with you.
I'd love that. I'd love to tour you around. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome.
And I'd love maybe the show can
we'll come and do an episode down there.
We'll do behind the scenes, 100%.
You know. Well, see, all it took to get to see you again was to start off a podcast, Kat.
There we go.
Look at the extent I've gone to.
It has taken you 10 years. Podcasts were even a thing.
To be fair, I've chased this woman, but she is non-stop working. Like I said, a cornerstone. And there was one point where she decided to move back to Australia for a second.
Well, I mean,
no, really, she moved back to Australia for a second.
It's pretty far.
How long was that for?
It was my long service leave.
Oh, was that what it was, your long service leave?
10-year mark. I went back, and I was back there for 14 months and boomeranged.
Straight back.
My friends like to say I boomeranged straight back.
Nice.
Well, welcome back.
I will be coming down to see you. This will happen, Kat.
Good.
Thank you
so much for your time.
That's okay. Thank you, guys. Great to talk to you.
It was great to have you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's Joe Mango here from Platinum List. If this looks like something you want to do, the longest zip line in the world, then make sure you go to platinumlist.net right now. Wish me luck. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this! The most amazing thing I've ever done. I just finished the longest zip line in the world with Torre Verde down here at Jumbo Days. It was absolutely insane. Get your tickets right now, platinumlist.net.